Alright folks, so here's David Menzies from Rebel News, interviewing an anti-convoy protester, protesting what seems to be a non-existent convoy. I mean, the convoy ended months ago, but nonetheless a leftist activist who has so much to say and so much to stand for, enough to be on the streets with a sign, being asked very, very simple questions, and well, it's just a massive train wreck, and that's putting it nicely.
If you're going to protest something as nebulous as freedom, then you can't encroach on others.
I'm not sure I understand. Is nebulous as freedom?
The concept of a nebulous freedom. They don't have a specific title, a specific reason for being here. They're all over the place, and all they're doing is suppressing Ottawa residents, Ottawa businesses. We are being harassed and held hostage for their supposed encroachments on freedom. What does a single white man have to say to anybody about a bodily autonomy freedoms?
I'm not sure what race has to do with it.
I didn't say anything about race.
You said a white man.
Single white man, sure, race.
Okay, so I mean, what does race have to do with it? When I look at people that are gathering here today, it's right across the multi-diverse spectrum.
No more comments.
Oh, okay then. Well, by the way, when it says convoy go home, didn't the convoy go home in February?
They called it a convoy? It's a convoy.
You mean this gathering here, is that a convoy?
Please go away.
Okay then.
No more comments.
All right. But
no more comments.
It just seems to
no
me...
more comments.
Okay.
No more comments.
You can't articulate...
No more comments.
Wow.
No more comments.
Have I triggered you?
No more comments. No more comments. No more comments. No more comments.
It's like interviewing a
No
Coke
more
machine when
comments.
your soda doesn't come
No
out.
more comments.
She just...
No more comments. No more comments.
It's like a...
No more
a
comments.
fembot
No
that's
more
malfunctioned.
comments.
And you think
No
that
more
if
comments.
somebody is going
No
to
more
go on a
comments.
corner...
Walk away. No more comments.
Why do I have to walk
Back away.
Why?
No more comments. No more comments.
Why do I have to
No
walk away? It's a
more
public place.
comments. No more comments. No more comments.
Do you mind me
No
asking,
more
what do you do for a
comments.
living?
No more comments.
I'm now interviewing
No
a side.
more-
This little interaction here is a perfect example of so many things that are wrong with the left side, left-wing wokeism, activism, and it all comes together perfectly in a little 2-minute snippet video to expose this kind of activism for what it is. First of all, the initial point that she tries to make about this nebulous concept called freedom, which David Menzies immediately goes, what do you mean by nebulous? The pseudo-intellectualism of the left, just using words that sound smart in the completely wrong context in order to make a completely failed point. This nebulous concept called freedom. What I think she's trying to say is that I guess these convoy protesters, which I'm not exactly sure why they're convoy protesters because the convoy ended months ago, seem to be claiming that they're fighting for freedom in a nebulous manner, in a hazy manner where they don't have a clear identity or a clear point that they're trying to make, which of course couldn't be further from the truth. There was a very clear stated mission with the convoy protest a couple months ago. And what they were standing against was government mandated medical procedures, getting in the way of what they viewed as their freedom to work and earn a living. It doesn't seem so nebulous to me. It seems like they had a very coherent message and plan. But secondly, to describe this concept of freedom as nebulous, to use the words something as nebulous as freedom, shows exactly what side these lefties are on. To so nonchalantly disregard this idea of freedom as if it's something not worth fighting for, or even making implications in many of these cases that they are anti-freedom, just shows you exactly who they are. This is why they take these stances when it comes to online censorship. They don't care about freedom of speech. They're little mini tyrants, mini authoritarians who would like to weaponize corporations, weaponize the state in order to suppress other people's freedoms if it pleases them politically. Little left-wing tyrants who shut down dialogue the moment it doesn't go their way. The moment they get debunked, the moment their argument starts to fall apart, they resort to this tactic of shutting down the conversation.
No more comments.
It's like interviewing a
No
Coke
more
machine when your
comments.
soda doesn't come
No
out.
more comments.
She just...
No more comments.
And it's something we see constantly with left-wing activists. I mean, how incredibly easy. Anytime somebody makes a valid point and debunks my claim, to respond with maybe something like this. Or to respond the opposing party by accusing them of racism or bigotry. How incredibly easy. You never have to make a valid point. Because you're coddled, you're entitled, the world revolves around you. And of course the facts don't matter, all that matters is narrative and ideology. This is what we constantly see, and speaking of that, literally during the same day, during the same event, here's another left-wing tactic to shut down conversation.
What exactly does the pigs represent there?
Left-wingers don't want to have conversations, they don't want to defend their points, they want merely to screech, attack you, label you, and shut down conversation. I mean, just think about it. Could you imagine showing up to a protest? You're there with a political message, I mean, you're there to make a point, and then when confronted about your ideas or questioned on your ideas, you came prepared with the facts. No, scratch that, you didn't come prepared with the facts. You came prepared with a dog toy or a rubber ducky to squeak into the microphone, literally anything, but having to actually defend your ideas. I mean, if you think about it, it's not exactly different. Asking a group of leftists to defend their ideas or to back up their claims. If you think about it, it's not so different. Asking lefties to defend their ideas or to validate their points. It's essentially the same thing, incoherent screeching and a bunch of nonsense, anything but facts and valid points. It's self-righteousness mixed with pseudo-intellectualism, and it's frankly insufferable. It's either screeching, shutting down conversation, or resorting to some sort of label or some sort of identity politics cop-out. And also going back to the initial clip.
What does a single white man have to say to anybody about a bodily autonomy freedoms?
I'm not sure what race has to do with it.
I didn't say anything about race.
You said a white man.
Single white man, sure, race.
What does race have to do with any of it? I never mentioned anything about race. You literally targeted white males. NPC brain malfunction.
No more comments! No more comments!
Why do I have to
No more comments! No more comments!
What a thoughtful and intellectual conversation. No wonder we can't get anywhere. We can't have conversations or find middle ground with these far lefty activist types. I mean, it's literally impossible.
Donald Trump wasn't the only one making questionable statements tonight. Listen to Secretary Clinton at a fundraiser here in New York.
Be grossly generalistic. You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Right? The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
No more comments!
It's like interviewing a
No
Coke
more
machine when your
comments!
soda doesn't come
No
out.
more comments!
She just...
No more comments! No more comments!
It's like interviewing a
No
Coke
more
machine when your
comments!
soda doesn't come
No
out.